Time for business update. Tolu Lokbe Gujobi is standing by. Tolu.
Thank you so much, Precious. In business news, the Debt Management Office says it will reopen 2 federal government bonds for auction, valued at 350 billion naira for subscription of 1,000 naira per unit. The FGN Savings Bond offers 1,000 naira per unit, subject to a minimum subscription of 50 million naira and in multiples of 1,000 naira. Also guaranteed quarterly interest payments and repayment of the principal and maturity targets targeted at retail investors. The office is authorized to receive applications for bonds in 2 tranches, with the first being 200 billion naira for a 5-year savings bond due to mature in April 2029 and 19.3% per annum, while second tranche is a 150 billion naira for 9-year savings bond due to mature in May 2033 at an interest rate of 19.89% per annum. According to the office, offers will be auctioned on April 28 with settlement date by April 30. Reopenings of previously issued bonds, where the coupon is already set, successful bidders will pay a price corresponding to the yields to maturity bid that clears the volume being auctioned, plus any accrued interest on the instrument. The Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative has announced plans to inaugurate new CNG refueling stations across 5 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Now, this initiative will be commissioned in Enugu, Abuja, Lokoja, Port Harcourt, Ado-Ekiti, and Abia to enhance intra-state transportation from key traffic hubs. Program coordinator of the Presidential CNG Initiative, Mr. Michael Oluwagbemi, was a guest on our Business Nigeria program earlier today. He speaks more on the initiative.
A typical user of petrol today will fill a 60-liter tank.
Yeah.
And that's, according based on your numbers, will cost about 55,000 naira.
Okay.
Right? And that tank will take them around for a week. The equivalent of that tank will be 2 65-liter CNG cylinders.
Yeah.
And that will cost you equivalent today of close to, because it's 380 per SCM,
okay,
and that's between 380 and 400 as the case may be.
Okay.
That will end up costing you close to 8,000, 9,000 naira. So you're going to save between that's 55,000. You spend 9,000 instead of spending 55,000 naira, and that's the difference.
Let's even say 10,000. So you're saving about
a bunch.
And when it comes to even servicing the vehicles, I hear they're a bit more.
You do not go to the service workshop as much as you do because you're using a cleaner fuel.
Engineer Oluwagbemi there. Now, moving on, the House of Representatives Committee on Maritime Safety and Education and Administration has pledged robust legislative backing to reform Nigeria's maritime legal framework and boost local vessel ownership. The pledge was made during an oversight visit to the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency in Lagos. TVC News senior business correspondent Ifunanya Eze reports.
At the NIMASA headquarters in Lagos, members of the House Committee began their oversight visit with a meeting in the agency's boardroom. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Mr. Dayo Moboriola, outlined NIMASA's core functions and his efforts to align with global maritime standards.
What we are trying to do is to make us competitive with the international shipping market, so that anytime, anywhere that the Nigerian flag is seen, they can be called upon for services.
Attention then shifted to the Maritime Resource Development Center in Kirikiri. There, the Director General announced that the long-awaited Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund is finally nearing full operational status.
What we have done is to streamline the guidelines, right? And the guidelines now that has been approved by the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy is to ensure that it takes nothing less than 3 to 4 months to access the funds.
After assessing the facilities, the committee declared its intention to review outdated maritime laws to better support the shipping sector and encourage indigenous participation.
The issue of the obsolete laws that he mentioned, and I know as a house we are going to work on that. If you want to count the owners of vessels who does business with NIMASA, I don't think we even have up to 5% of Nigerians owning vessels. But with the recent approval of the cabotage fund, which is domiciled in CBN, the money is big. I thank the minister. And it is the duty of NIMASA to draw up a plan and implement that.
They also plan to extend their oversight to other NIMASA offices nationwide to ensure standardization and improved service delivery. Ifunanya Eze, TVC News, Lagos.
Stocks drifted today and rebound in the dollar lost traction as investors try to sift through the noise from Trump's administration and its stance on tariff and the Federal Reserve's leadership. MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside of Japan fell 0.72%, bucking the trend of Wall Street after stocks advanced in hopes for a de-escalation of Sino-U.S. trade tensions. U.S. features paired gains with Nasdaq features losing 0.32%, and S&P 500 features down 0.23%. Eurostock 50 features swung between losses and gains to last trade flat, while FTSE features is 0.04%. The Nikkei ticked up 0.4%. In China, CSI 300 blue chip was up just 0.06%. Hong Kong Hang Seng slipped more than 1% against the yuan. Dollar fell 0.5% to 142.75. The euro was up 0.25 and the dollar 13 cents, while the Swiss franc rose roughly 0.3% to 0.82% per dollar. U.S. President Donald Trump says reduction in tariffs placed on China would depend on the action of its leaders. He said this during the conversation with some of the back and forth regarding the trade tariff that has been on in the United States.